Hey guys, it's Kish here.
And Roland.
We're both from Porygon Tube, and today we will be bringing you coverage from the Geelong League Challenge hosted by GUF. So I just want to take this opportunity to give a big shout out and thank you to Paul and David from GUF, who are absolutely amazing in helping us set up our camera and giving us a play space to record, and also to judges Cara and Tim, who were absolutely phenomenal on the day.
Yeah, so there were 36 Masters at this League Challenge, which actually makes it the biggest League Challenge in Australian history. So you're watching history unfolding as you watch this match right now. And so this is going to be the first round of 6 in the tournament.
Yep, and we're watching Henry playing Mega Scizor versus Alfred playing Gyarados. And Roland, I know these are two pet decks of yours. What do you think about the matchup?
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup actually. So for those unaware, the Gyarados deck aims to deal damage by benching Magikarps with Team Magma's Secret Base in play. And what that does is it puts 2 damage counters on a Magikarp. And then Gyarados' attack, which you can use for just 2 colourless energy, does 30 damage plus 30 damage for each damage counter on your bench Magikarps. So you're aiming to damage your own Magikarps to fuel Gyarados' damage output. And so what that means is that Gyarados' sort of max damage is 210, which is interesting because Scizor has exactly 220 HP. And that makes the matchup very interesting because it's about how can Gyarados get those one-hit knockouts when it has to deal that extra damage. We know that Alfred plays Meowstic EX, which is a way, and you'll see that hopefully pop up in the game, that you can deal that extra 10, and Bursting Balloon's another way that the deck can do that. Also, Mega Scizor has an effect of an attack, which is interesting, in that it can discard the stadium that's crucial to allowing Alfred to get that extra damage.
Yeah, so we'll see if Alfred can keep up while getting his stadiums discarded every turn, and that's really the disruption of Scizor, and that's why it's such a good deck. So fortunately, Alfred is going first. We see him Ultra Ball, getting rid of a teammates, and grabbing a Magikarp. And so he's off to a pretty decent start. We'll see if he has the Magma Base in hand to damage that Magikarp. Henry on his other side has played down 2 Scizors, so a pretty ideal start as far as both players are concerned.
All right, and then we see the Magma Base come down, so very important. Until you can get that out, you really don't even want to bench your Magikarps. And they almost become a bit of a liability. Say if you didn't have that, you probably would have been forced to Sycamore it.
Absolutely. And he does play a Sycamore. Unfortunately, he had to attach that Bursting Balloon to that Magikarp early on. He probably would have liked to keep that till later in the game when it becomes more relevant, but having said that, drawing 7 cards is pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting that he chose to actually attach the Floatstone on the bench Magikarp. That actually... And, well, I suppose that segues nicely into one of Gyarados' extra interesting abilities is that you can have 2 tools attached to it.
Of course.
It's got that Theta double. So actually having that Floatstone on it doesn't prevent him from playing a Bursting Balloon down once he gets the Gyarados involved.
And a pretty standard turn from Henry. He might be holding his cards. He just attaches Shield Energy and passes back to Alfred, who then evolves up into a Gyarados. He has a DC in hand. And we'll see if he can go off this turn and actually knock out that Scizor. So he needs 6 damage counters on the field to knock out that Scizor, so he'll need to get down 2 more Magikarps while the Magma Secret Base is in play. Let's see if he can do that this turn and put Henry under the pump.
Yeah, and one of the things Gyarados plays is a lot of Surge cards. You're going to see a lot of Dive Balls and Ultra Balls, I believe Alfred's list plays. So, it wouldn't be surprising if you got 2 down this turn.
Right. And we'll see if Henry can respond. Let's see what Alfred gets. So he Acrobikes.
An interesting consistency card that the deck plays to sort of smooth out its draws.
So he's definitely digging for the Magikarps. That's really all he needs right here. And you wouldn't think it would be too hard for him to get it, unless of course one of them is prized. So we'll see if that eventuates.
Yeah, and that's actually a really big liability for this deck if those Magikarps are prized. Alfred, we talked to before the tournament and said he was not going to play Town Map, which is one way that you can identify where Magikarps are in the prizes. It doesn't get them out immediately, but it means that as soon as you then take one prize, you can then take the Magikarp out, and then you can start hitting for your full damage.
Wow, so Alfred there actually plays a Dive Ball and doesn't get anything. So he had one Magikarp in hand, and I'm assuming the other one must be prized, which will be very unfortunate for Alfred. And yes, indeed, he can't find that 3rd Magikarp, which he needs.
Yep.
So he can only do 150 damage here.
This is a warning to everyone. You got to play Town Map in this deck. Not to be on about it, but
Oh, and a Max Potion comes down from Henry, just erases Alfred's turn, but then a pass.
Okay, we've talked a lot about Alfred's deck. We haven't really talked about what Henry plays in his.
Absolutely.
And one of the interesting things, and I've talked to him before the tournament, He said that one of the things that he plays in his deck are the Shield Energy that you see there, and Max Potion combined with Mega Turbo.
Right.
And so, because Mega Scizzor's attack requires 2 metal, you might sort of wonder how that works with Max Potion, right? If you Max Potion, then wouldn't you just discard your 2 metal and then you wouldn't be able to attack? But if you follow that up with an attachment from your hand and a Mega Turbo, you can clear off all damage and then still be able to attack.
Absolutely.
That turn. And Shield Energy makes it harder to one-hit knock out Mega Scizor.
Great. So Henry actually top decks an Ultra Ball, so no doubt he'll be searching for a Shaman to try and get some cards and get himself going. He's actually not in too bad a position here, mainly because Alfred hasn't been able to find that third Magikarp and really put him under the pump. Doing 150 damage to Scizor is not really going to scare them too much because, as you said, Roland, they can just play Max Potion and a Mega Turbo and get attacking again straight away. So I'm sure Henry's fairly comfortable in his position at the moment, and Alfred maybe not so much because maybe that Stadium is going to get discarded this turn if Henry can find a Spirit Link, another Energy, and a Mega Scizor.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll see the Hooper down. That's really what Scizor wants to get as soon as possible. You get all your EXs, you get Shaman. And so that's interesting you see there. So benching the Mega Scizor actually incurs the damage from Team Magma's Secret Base, and that's actually quite big.
Yes.
Because as I talked about earlier, you just need that extra 10 damage, and that allows, or 20 if there's a Shield Energy, which sort of complicates things a bit, in order for Gyarados with 3 damaged Magikarps on the bench to one-hit KO Mega Scizor. But that Team Magma's Secret Base allows that extra bit of damage.
And there we see the Max Potion from Henry. So this must be frustrating for Alfred. He's watched 300 damage get wiped off Henry's board.
Although Henry's not in the best position. He currently has no energy. But, it's sort of stole the game a bit.
But that's Scizor for you, isn't it? It's just a war of attrition when you're playing against a Scizor deck.
Yeah, definitely.
They're just doing everything they can to disrupt you and outlast you. You might be able to knock out 1 Mega Scizor, maybe 2, but that third one will come up and probably sweep the game because by that stage most decks have run out of resources. But interestingly, Henry Lysander's a Magikarp here. So if he gets down an Energy, no, he actually misses.
That's kind of unlucky actually. So of course regular Scizor EX has an attack that for 1 metal does 20 damage.
Yeah.
So that's enough. You only need to do 10 to knock out good old Magikarp. They're not the most robust.
Exactly.
Pokemon, are they?
Weak ever since base set.
I believe they had 30 HP all the way back then. So not much has changed.
So the power creep really hasn't gotten to Magikarp.
Unfortunately, he was left behind. Okay, it's interesting. We see Alfred train his mail for a puzzle of time. So guessing that he has another one. Typically, you don't see people train his mail for just a single. Oh,
no, he actually plays one. Okay. He's actually not done too much on his turns either. He's only attacked for 150 and really hasn't done much else.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a slow game so far. Yeah. No prizes taken, obviously. And Alfred really wants to get out to a quick start so he can get those Magikarp out of the prizes.
Yeah.
So if he were to knock out an EX, he's got a 1 in 3 shot of getting that Magikarp out, which sounds kind of grim, and that's kind of why you want Town Map to really assure it. But
there we see a very nice Expedition switch come down. Reverse holo, I believe.
I think that's a Porygon too. Awesome, fantastic.
Thanks for the plug, Alfred. Okay, so we do see Alfred get an Ultra Ball, and he's going for the Shaman. So he's elected to play the Shaman over the Octillery build. What do you think about that, Roland?
Yeah, so I suppose it's just inherently, it's about that trade-off. So in the beginning of the game, as we see here, Shaman's just a lot better. And you get Ultra Ball, you can clear out cards from your hand, and then you can just set up for more cards. Whereas Octillery, at the start of the game, it's really not that great.
Yeah.
You're drawing 1 or 2, maybe 3 cards, but where Octillery really shines is towards the end of the game, when you're getting into low amounts of cards in your hand. And Gyarados is a deck that needs a lot of cards. When your Gyarados are getting knocked out, and your Team Magma's base are getting discarded, you need to draw all these combinations of cards just to be able to turn.
Wow, and then we see a Lysander from Alfred, and he knocks out the Scizor, which had the 20 damage from the Magma Secret Base. Takes 2 prizes. We'll see if he's fished out.
The question is, has he got that Magikarp?
Did he actually take 1 prize?
Yes.
Not too sure. We'll find out in a sec.
Yeah, we'll find out. It does look like he has 5 prizes there.
Yeah. Unless we missed something, but fairly sure he just knocked out that Scizor for 2 prizes. And then we see another Max Potion from Henry. He's really got a lot of targets on his board. He's got 2 Shamans and a Hooper. And really, those are just free prizes for the Gyarados deck.
Yeah, definitely. And it's interesting because even if, say, Alfred doesn't get out, the last Magikarp that he would need to, say, not get a Mega Scizor, he could still theoretically take all of his prizes just from the remaining Shaymins. Because, of course, they've only got 90 HP left. So they're really easy to knock out. If Alfred can get that crucial Lysander, but that's easier sort of said than done. Although he does have in the discard pile already.
Wow, so Henry finds a Trainer's Mail here. That's going to be really big to discard those easy targets off his board. We'll see what he can do this turn. So he attaches an energy, plays a Parallel City.
Yep. And so Parallel City has that double effect. So one side that it's facing, that player's bench goes down to 3. And so Henry's elected strategically to put that side on him. So he discards one of the easy targets in Shaymin. And then the other side will actually reduce the damage from water Pokemon's attacks by 20. And that could actually be yet another crucial damage manipulation factor that just sort of seesaws things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then we see a Lysander from Alfred, and he knocks out a Shaymin, takes 2 prizes, so now he's got 3 remaining. So yeah, it looks like he only did take the 1 prize on the first Scizor, and maybe that's what Henry's pointing out right now.
Oh, okay, yep, and it looks like they've figured that one out. Yep,
all right, okay. And the sportsman-like maneuver just lets Alfred take the prize and shuffle it into his deck.
That's what it's all about, on you, Henry. So at no point Henry ends, so I don't think that would have...
No, it wouldn't. It's not relevant.
Okay. So,
yeah,
there we go now. Okay. Fortunately, he didn't play one earlier. That would have really led to a severely compromised game state.
Absolutely. So, let's see. What's Henry's strategy from here on? Alfred's only got the 1 Gyarados, and he's been N down to 2.
Yeah.
He really hasn't thinned his deck that much. There were a few turns where he was just passing and attacking with Gyarados, so there's probably a few dead cards in his deck still. So we'll see what he can draw off the 2 cards. Whereas Henry, of course, gets 6, having not drawn any prizes yet. He's no doubt fishing for the Mega Scizor and maybe a Mega Turbo or an Energy. So we'll see what Henry can do.
Unfortunately, you can't see the hands too well. The camera angle not doing us much justice there, but it's only a matter of time before we find out.
Yeah.
But yeah, and of course...
Big card there from Henry.
Okay, there we are.
The Tech Absol. Wow. That really hurts the Gyarados deck. Roland, what do you think about that tech?
Yeah, so Gyarados as...
and an Enhance Hammer.
And an Enhance Hammer.
Bringing the pain.
It's all coming down. Yeah, so Absol, when it's played down, you get to move 3 damage counters from one of your opponent's Pokemon to another one of your opponent's Pokemon. And that's so damaging to Gyarados because those Magikarps on the bench, they only have 10 HP left. So if you can just move damage to a Magikarp, you can take a prize without even attacking. And what's even more damaging is the fact that you can take damage off a Magikarp so that then it limits Gyarados' damage output.
Right.
So you kill one Magikarp and then you clean 1 of damage and sort of
effectively there's no way for Alfred to get damage onto that Magikarp, which has been cleared of damage now actually. The only way he can get damage onto Magikarps is through Team Magma's secret base. But once that Magikarp's benched, it's not getting any more damage. So really, that's a huge card from Henry, and possibly could have really swung this matchup. As we know, Alfred prized one of his Magikarps. Another one's been knocked out, and one has been cleared of damage. So Gyarados isn't...
Ooh, that's big. That's very, very big.
Counter Magma.
So he drew relatively well off that end.
Absolutely.
And it's just so much, yeah. Who would think Pokemon is somewhat down to luck? But yeah, so that's very much exacerbated when you're getting into 2 cards, 2-3 cards. It just, so much depends on what you draw off that. But yeah, he's still not in the best position because, well, he's going to need buddy rescues. That's one of the ways that Gyarados gets back Magikarps from the discard pile, and Gyarados's. Super Rod's another. Not actually sure if he plays Super Rod. Not sure if we've seen one so far.
I don't think we've seen one.
But yeah, so buddy rescue is sort of the main, that's your bread and butter method for getting them back.
So I'm sure Alfred would slam down that Magikarp if he had it.
Here we go.
Gets the buddy.
He does get the buddy. And so that also allows Henry to pick up a Pokemon from his discard pile. Although at this point I don't believe he has anything that would be too beneficial.
No, I think just Shaymins and Scizors are in the discard pile, so nothing too great from Henry's point of view. Might just go for another Shaymin here. Yeah,
it's actually almost crazy that he still hasn't drawn a Mega Scizor.
Yeah.
How hard can it be?
Yeah, it is one of the sort of simpler decks, as it were. in terms of its strategy. Just power up Scizors and disrupt your opponent. But Henry so far has been pretty unlucky, really, not to have drawn into any Mega Scizors as yet. Oh, a Jinx!
A Jinx, and the Wheel of Fortune of text just keeps being rolled out. There's another one. And yeah, so Jinx, that heals 10 damage from your active Pokemon, so it's an ability that you can use once in your turn. And that, yeah, could come in. It'll be interesting to see. It obviously doesn't prevent things getting one-hit KO'd in the same way that Shield Energy does.
Yeah.
But it could be the difference between a 2-hit KO, perhaps. Not sure. The math probably doesn't work out. But there's really no reason not to bench it, because it's a non-EX.
Right.
You know, I suppose it leaves open the possibility of Absol and Jinx getting knocked out, sort of, so there isn't a 7-prize game, but that's highly unlikely.
Yeah.
If Alfred has a Lysander, he's going to do it on something else, most likely. So it's risk-free, really.
Yeah, it's a good tech, really. And there we see a Mega Scizor come down from Henry after being poked for 90 by that Gyarados. So he's going to heal 10 off that Mega Scizor with the Jinx's ability, which gives it an effective HP of 140. So Alfred would still need another Magikarp to knock that out, and he's been end again. So Henry continuing with the disruption and really wearing Alfred down here. We'll see what Alfred's got on his turn. This Gyarados is going to go down. I'm assuming Henry's going to draw an energy here to knock it out.
Surely, he can't miss it at this point.
And then he'll also discard the Magma Secret Base in the process. So you got to wonder what Alfred can do. There's a lot he needs off these two cards.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the interesting things that I guess Alfred does have in his favour is if it does get knocked out, he can send up the Magikarp with no damage on it. And because Gyarados has 130 HP, that's just out of range for Mega Scizor. So theoretically, if he were to draw poorly and he didn't draw what he needed for the knockout, he could really stall for a turn.
Absolutely.
And it's not the end of the world, especially since he is so close to winning.
Yeah.
But of course, he could be so close to the finish line, but he really could be so far because if he doesn't draw what he needs.
And there's a Shield Energy from Henry.
Finally, we've seen the Mega Scizor come out. It took a while, but we got there.
And so Alfred sends up the Shaman, a sign that really his hand's not too great.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he no doubt would have promoted the Magikarp with no damage on it. So he puzzles of times. He only has one. So he rearranges his top 3 cards. So Puzzle of Time, of course, if you play 1, you can rearrange your top 3 cards. Effectively controlling your top deck, or if you play 2 at the same time, then you can choose any 2 cards from your discard pile. So a really powerful card and very good in Gyarados. So Alfred rearranges his cards and he's probably just going to pass it back to Henry, I would imagine. Can't see him shuffling his deck after rearranging his cards. He attaches a Floatstone and chooses to sacrifice the Magikarp with no damage on it. Okay.
Interesting that he's sacrificing that Magikarp instead of the other Magikarp, because really preserving a Magikarp with damage on it isn't really that much of a benefit if you then have to attack with that. With that Gyarados with the damage on it.
So
it's
possibly,
an play.
Possibly might have been better to send out the damaged Magikarp, as you said, to protect the eventual Gyarados from getting one-hit KO'd by the Mega Scizor. So Henry's just looking through Alfred's discard here.
He's rubbing it in.
Henry, I'm not sure how comfortable he is in this position. He still needs to take 4 prizes. 2 of them will be off the Shaman, and then 1 will be off this Magikarp, and then maybe 1 Gyarados. So and
we can see that Jinx come into play. That might mean that 150... How much damage does the Mega Scizor have?
It should have about 50 or 60 on it, I think.
Okay, so that could put it just out of range for a 150 damage Gyarados.
And there we see Alfred scoops.
Okay.
So...
not wasting any time?
No, not wasting any time.
Yeah, and that's one of the concerns in these best out of 3 formats. It's not just about, okay, am I going to play a 1% chance of winning this game? It's about saying, okay, do I want to maximise my chance of winning the whole series? And sometimes you do that just by saying, you know what, I'm just going to scoop.
And we still don't know if Alfred managed to fish out that Magikarp from his prizes or not. So maybe he knew he just wasn't able to one-hit KO that Scizor if he didn't have that 3rd Magikarp. So he just decided to scoop it up and go to game 2. I think the real turning point in that match was that Absol drop from Henry. What an amazing tech for this matchup.
Yeah, it's a great tech for the matchup. I know Henry was talking to me about its usefulness in other matchups. I don't think he was really sort of necessarily playing it for this deck, but as a side effect, it's fantastic against Gyarados.
Yeah, it really does a number on it, unintentionally. Essentially, yeah. Really, apart from knocking out their Magikarp, it is just wiping the other Magikarp on the bench off of any damage, effectively reducing Alfred's damage by 60.
Yeah.
So it really is a good tech, and probably a good reason why Gyarados needs to be a sort of under-the-radar deck.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the coming events, whether we start seeing more Gyarados, or whether it sort of hovers around. There's just a few people playing Gyarados. It's a very sort of meta deck. So it's not a meta deck, it's an anti-meta deck.
It's very much not a meta deck.
It's very much not a meta deck, absolutely.
So we see Alfred, he chooses to go first again. No reason not to. He starts with a Shaman, which I'm sure he's not too happy about. But he does find a Magma Base and a Trainer's Mail. So he Ultra Balls. I'm assuming he's playing 2 Shaman. Let's hope the other one's not prized if that's what he's searching for. Or maybe he'll just get a Magikarp. Oh, he actually discards a Magma Base. Yeah,
that's unfortunate. Looks like it really had no other option. But yeah, that's so painful. That's very, very painful because, you know, at most I'll have 2 left after these. Of course, Puzzle of Time can get back Magma Secret Base. Sometimes that's the target that you want from that. You know, sometimes you want double Colorless Energy, sometimes you just want Magikarps, but a lot of the time you will be getting back the Secret Base. But it really puts strain on his resources.
Absolutely.
Okay, and he does get the Shaman.
So he grabs a Shaman and a Magikarp, so he double Ultra Balls there, grabbing a Magikarp and a Shaman.
Interesting that he actually played the Secret Base before playing down the Magikarp. Ideally, you'd want to play the Magikarp first, then you play the Secret Base, and then your other Magikarps you would want to damage, because you want to keep one Magikarp undamaged.
And I think that's what Henry might have been pointing out there. He was asking whether or not Alfred was going to play the Magma Base and then bench his Pokemon, or the other way around.
Okay.
So a clean 6 for Alfred. Always nice when you can Shaman for 6 cards and still have a supporter left to play as well. So, sure, he's just... There we see another Ultra Ball. He doesn't look too happy.
No, you can see the body language. There we go. The body language is a little bit, not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
So he actually has to discard a Puzzle of Time, which is really unfortunate. As you said, that might have to come into play later to get back the Magma Secret Base that he discarded. But he does have 2 Magikarps on the field, which is really nice for him. He's under no immediate threat from Henry. Of course, Henry can Lysander and then use Scizor's first attack to knock out one of those Magikarps, but it's not too much of a factor. Alfred just needs to get as many Magikarps down as he can, and hopefully one's not prized this game.
Yeah. And of course, for Henry's side, getting a Lysander on the first 10 is actually quite difficult. Without Battle Compressor anymore, it's difficult to actually draw into it and get your energy without playing another supporter.
So Ultra Balls, Henry's Ultra Balls are Metal Energy, which is quite nice for him. He can Mega Turbo that later, and a Mega Scizor. So probably searching for a Hooper here, or maybe an Absol if he really wants to wreck Alfred. But no, just goes for the Hooper. And it must be very frustrating for Alfred knowing that Absol is in Henry's deck and knowing there's not really a whole lot he can do about it. He doesn't really play anything that's going to stop that ability from coming into play. And unless it's prized, Henry is no doubt going to be fishing for that pretty soon.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just an ace in the hole that Henry has the whole game.
Yeah.
And Alfred's just got to be wary of that. But of course, there's only so much that you can do. He might play Hex Maniac, we're not sure. But of course, the problem with Hex Maniac is they can just wait until a turn, which you haven't Hex Maniac'd, and you can't Hex Maniac every turn, so your guard's going to be down at one point, and that Absol's going to come down and get Henry 2 prizes, and potentially even wipe the board.
Exactly. And really, there's no critical turn when Henry needs the Absol. At any point in the game, if he plays the Absol, that's going to be bad for Alfred.
Yeah, it's equally damaging almost at any point in the game.
So Henry attaches a Spirit Link to his bench Scizor and Metal Energy to his active, and there he finds the
Lysander. He does find it, yeah. Well, I was thinking about how hard it was, but...
not hard with Shaman rolling.
Yeah, not hard with Shaman, What a great card.
So he takes the prize, and now let's see what Alfred can do on his side. Plays a Trainer's Mount.
It's interesting that we saw Henry Spirit Link on the bench Scizor. I guess he's really hedging his bets there.
Absolutely.
Obviously concerned that it is absolutely possible that Alfred gets 210 damage and knocks out this Scizor, and you want to keep your Spirit Link on the bench. But it could mean theoretically that's harder to follow up next turn on the active if it doesn't get knocked out.
And here we could have... Henry actually discarded his Mega Scizor, but thanks to Alfred's buddy, he can get it back.
Yeah.
So that might have been a really smart discard from Henry off the initial Ultra Ball, recognizing that at some point Alfred is going to play that buddy to get back a Magikarp, so he can use that to get back his Mega Scizor. So great plays from Henry.
Yeah, that's one of the downsides of buddy. Your opponent gets their Pokemon back.
Yeah.
And that's all well and good when you're hitting for 200 bajillion damage every turn. But in the earlier stages of the game, your opponent can really get some mileage out of it if they've been forced to discard something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's a great play for any newer players, knowing what your opponent's deck is all about and using their cards to your advantage as well. So a good example of that by Henry. And Henry Mega evolves the bench after his active gets hit for 90. So VS Seeker's the Lysander, and he's going to get good mileage out of this Scizor, taking 2 prizes off the Magikarps with that one Scizor EX, and he still has the Mega Scizor in the back as well. So.
Yeah, interesting. The only potential issue he has is that it doesn't have any energy on it, so he's going to need that Mega Turbo if this Scizor goes down, which it almost certainly will.
And Alfred actually attaches another DCE to the bench Magikarp. What do you think about this play?
Yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, generally you want to get out all the DCE you can in case you get end, and so that they're on your board. Of course, the problem is we saw that Henry plays Enhanced Hammer. We saw that in the last game. So that DC on the bench could be a target for Enhanced Hammer.
Absolutely.
And it could come back to bite Alfred. But, I mean, what's the alternative to him? He's Sycamores. There isn't really an alternative to that.
So, no real disadvantage for Alfred attaching the double colourless there. But you must know that maybe that double colours is not long for this world.
It's in danger, much like the Magikarps on Alfred's bench. Yeah, it's a volatile matchup.
Yeah.
Nothing's really safe.
So Alfred does bench another Magikarp, so a pretty nice turn for him. He's got 2 Magikarp with 2 damage counters on it.
And now he's just playing... He's played the Acrobat, and he's deciding which card he wants to take and which he wants to discard.
He might be digging for a bursting balloon
here. Yeah, that's a big card that allows you to get just that extra damage in terms of knocking out Mega Scizor. Say, for instance, if he attaches a bursting balloon to the active, he knocks out the regular Scizor, and then if that Mega Scizor comes up, Mega Turbo attach, and knocks out his Gyarados, it takes that 60 damage, and that could be enough for it to be knocked out the following turn.
So he doesn't find the bursting balloon, unfortunately, but he does take the 2 prizes, evening up the game with Henry. And Henry actually promotes Hooper, probably signaling he's got a float stone in hand, and there we see it. So Henry, he'll be looking for that Absol this turn. I think this is a big turn for him. If he can Absol, knock out the bench Magikarp with the DC, and knock out the active Gyarados with the Mega Scizor while discarding the Team Magma's secret base, that's going to be a lot for Alfred to come back from next turn.
Yeah, at that point it's almost impossible for Alfred to return a knockout. He would need to draw spectacularly well.
Yeah. So there we see an Ultra Ball, no doubt going for that Absol. I think this is the turn. He does get the 2 energy onto the Mega Scizor.
That's big.
So there we see the Absol.
Comes out.
Wow. We were saying the DC is not long for this world. That Magikarp was not long for this world.
It goes down with the ship.
And Henry gets to take a prize, and he hasn't even attacked yet. So he's really tightening the screws on Alfred. He actually Lysanders the Shaman. Wow, this is a great play. So he's going to discard the secret base and go down to 1 prize. So really, there's not a whole lot Alfred can do here. He's got the active Gyarados with 20 damage on it. That's just a 1-hit KO for a Mega Scizor. So...
yeah, it's looking curtains at the moment.
Yeah.
The only way is that if Alfred can maybe pull off an N, but then he's hitting himself to 4 cards and he has to draw some fantastical combination of cards to pull it off.
Absolutely. And of course, a Lysander from Henry will just be able to knock out a bench Magikarp with the normal Scizor EX, which has an energy on it.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Alfred has a lot. He's got to dodge a lot of cards here while getting his own setup to knock out that Mega Scizor. So it's really not looking too great for Alfred, but let's see what he can do here. He's thinking.
It doesn't hurt to just take a moment.
Always good to think.
Yeah. There's still some time in the round, so and Alfred's probably not concerned about. He'd take a draw at this point, I think.
He's maybe try the double supporter trick and bait Henry into shufflers.
Oh, we don't do that in Australia. we don't do that. We're very, very principled. Wouldn't even think about that.
Of course, Alfred would never do something
Absolutely.
like that.
No, he's a champion bloke.
Yeah. No, Alfred is a champion bloke. We're not being sarcastic. He's a good guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't think so. He actually discards the teammates off the Acro bike.
So yeah, you can see he does have a Versus Seeker in his hand. It's just there's just the inevitable reality of this is that Henry has one prize and he just needs an Energy or a Lysander.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a lot for that not to materialize.
It's amazing how good. I mean, I keep going on about it, but how good that Absol tech is. We haven't seen Mega Scizor actually do too much in these games at all.
It's taken a backseat to regular Scizor EX and Absol, basically. Yeah, really, if you count up all the knockouts.
Yeah. So it's just that one card can swing the matchup so heavily in Henry's favour, and there's not a lot Alfred can do about it. So he's going to Ultra Ball here.
All right, there goes that Puzzle of Time and a Special Charge. So that's another way that you can get your DCE back. In addition to Puzzle of Time. Oh, and he gets the Meow Stick. Okay, that's interesting. It's not going to prevent Gyarados from being outside of one hit KO range. So it's currently got 110 HP left. Meow Stick would, well, if it was active, because the poker, we don't have poker powers anymore. We have abilities. Yeah. This isn't 2011. So that's the only way you can actually use Meow Stick's ability is when it's in the active. Not that it would prevent a knockout, but I guess he got it out because he doesn't have the Maker's Secret base, so there's no point searching for a Magikarp if there was even one in his deck.
So Alfred's going to Lysander here.
Yeah, okay, so
maybe a stall. Yep. So he plays a switch, and he's probably going to move the 1 damage counter. And he's thinking...
Yeah, no, that's smart.
Yeah.
1 Meowstic isn't going to make the difference, but 2 uses of that ability, which he can hopefully get if Henry isn't able to get a Lysander, because of course Meowstic does have too much HP for Scizor to 1-hit KO. That will mean that Gyarados is actually out of 1-hit KO range. So that's an intelligent play from Alfred.
Yeah.
If Henry wasn't able to 1-hit KO this Meowstic, he could then heal the remaining damage off of Gyarados, then 1-hit KO an EX, and then follow up the previous turn, the following turn with another KO and an EX.
Yeah,
it's going to take a lot, but it is possible.
And he's playing to his outs. He's finding a way in a tough situation, and he hasn't given up yet. So good on Alfred. He's definitely playing to his outs here. But as you said, Roland, it's looking pretty grim. Just an energy to retreat. An escape rope even would be very bad. And there we see an escape rope come down. So that's the game.
That's the game.
And Henry takes it 2-0 over Alfred, and he moves to 1-0. So a really good game. Great plays from both players. I think the Absol was just too much for Alfred, but he played to his outs. He did a good job. So we'll move on to round 2 now.